Joined now by Sarah C. Westwood of the D.C. Examiner. She joins me every week to review what happened in Congress. Sarah, was anyone around to get reaction from yesterday after Bragg dropped his bombshell?
Well, Republicans and Democrats, everybody sort of found a way to get their reaction out there, even if they weren't, physically in the halls. We saw sort of an outpouring of statements from both sides. If there's one thing that could sort of bring the Republican Party together, it's sort of protesting what looks to be a sort of unfair, to put it mildly, pursuit of Trump legally by this very liberal district attorney in Manhattan. And so you had Republicans across the spectrum, even ones that have been really critical of Donald Trump, coming to his defense last night. It was sort of remarkable to see the extent to which Republicans are on the same page in sort of condemning this indictment.
Now, I've been reviewing everything that's been said, trying to award a gold medal in the stupid Olympics. And Nancy Pelosi actually won going away by saying he has a chance to prove his innocence, which is turning all of American law, actually Anglo-American law, for 1,000 years on its head. Did anyone else say anything remotely as stupid as he has a chance to prove his innocence?
I think Barbara Lee from California said something to the effect of now do all his other crimes. Like, I think Democrats have been searching for some sort of avenue to get him. And, they were facing, in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office was facing a pretty hard deadline in terms of the statute of limitations for this sort of Frankenstein case that they've put together, combining federal election law with state paper records laws. And so, the sense is if they didn't vote on the indictment, this week or in the next few weeks, they may not have been able to bring it at all. So, that sort of, I guess, explains maybe the unexpected timing. But based on what we know of the indictment so far, the facts of this case could not be weaker. And the credibility of the witnesses that the DA has relied upon, Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, people who have been widely discredited over the past few years, are building the backbone of this case. I mean, it's hard to see how any Democrat could sort of celebrate.
Now, Sarah, my caution, I've told her, I've been teaching law students since 1995, and I've always told them all. First, always introduce yourself because people may forget you. And then second, never pretend to know what you don't know in front of a judge or you'll get thrown out. And I don't know what's in the indictment. Nobody does. Jonathan Turley was on Fox saying, if it says that, and what you just presumed is, if this is Stormy Daniels plus Michael Cohen, it equals John Edwards on steroids. But we don't know if there's something new, right? Has anyone acknowledged that we don't know what's in there?
I mean, I think you're right. There's probably could be more recognition that we don't know. We know that there's about 30 counts in the indictment. It's, unclear. There could be more than what we know right now. With the sort of the paper trail thing about the hush money payment could be just the tip of the iceberg of a bunch of illegal activity that the Manhattan DA uncovered. But this has been a particularly leaky process, right? I mean, grand jury proceedings are supposed to be very secret. We've had a lot of leaks. A lot of witnesses who have been talking to the grand jury have also been talking to the press. So I think, in this case, we may have a little more insight than usual because of that, because there hasn't been really an effort to protect the secrecy of the proceedings. But you're right. We don't know what else could be in the indictment.
You remember that Star Wars meme? It's a trap. I do think there is a possibility that it's a trap for the media to spend all weekend talking about Stormy Daniels plus Michael Cohen does not equal a John Edwards prosecution, which failed anyway. That's that is a really seductive line to go down, but we don't know. And I don't want to win the stupid Olympics. I'm not competing in the stupid Olympics. I'm just curious if any Democrat exercised any caution at all. Nancy Pelosi just absolutely said he gets to prove his innocence. That's written. We got a Photoshop of it. She wins the stupid Olympics. But did any Democrat use any caution at all?
Some of them did. I mean, we saw some Democrats talking about the presumption of innocence, which is, what Nancy Pelosi should have been saying, maybe she was trying to say, and, not jumping to conclusions and no one is above the law. The problem is with indicting a former president, which is a historic, unprecedented step, you would hope that the case would be completely airtight, would be overwhelming evidence. And so even if there is more to this indictment, and there very well could be, than what we know so far, the idea that to convict Donald Trump, a former and president, current candidate, you would just need to have so much evidence. And nothing so far in the public record indicates that the Manhattan DA
That's
has
correct.
anything.
Last question. Did anyone answer the question, why would it be sealed and dropped on a Friday night? You suggested the statute of limitations might force his hand, but anyone explain why it's sealed?
Yeah, I've not heard any compelling explanation of why it's sealed other than potentially to protect the DA from scrutiny of what's in the indictment. But so far, the reason why it would be.
That's the only answer that makes any sense to me, is that he was afraid of being ridiculed when he wanted his 72 hours of fame. And he wants the mugshot, and then he can raise money off of it forever. He's running for mayor. He's running for governor. It is just crazy. Sarah Westwood, thank you. Sealed indictments. Don't like it. Good to talk to Sarah C. Westwood on Twitter. Follow her on Twitter at Sarah C. Westwood.